Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a special guest and a part 2 series, Cooking with Naz. Again, this is my mom. Her name is Nazma, Naz, whatever. And today we actually have a little special Mother's Day twist to the Cooking with Naz series. So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you, Dina. Assalamu alaikum, guys. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my second YouTube video, back by popular demand. I'm so happy that you guys liked the first cooking video. And some of you have actually tried it and commented on it. I'm so happy you did. Please subscribe to this girl. She's going places. This is all about fusion today, especially if you've grown up in the Western world. You know, kids give you a hard time eating dinners that are desi or too spicy. Me and my sisters and my cousins have created this recipe of lasagna, which is a fusion of Desi and American.
Please try out the recipe. Let us know how you like it. Just know from me, this is like one of my favorite recipes from my mom.
All the kids love it. All the grown-ups love it. They actually take it home with them. You're gonna love it.
So let's get into the recipe.
Woohoo! So we're gonna start with ground beef, guys. I had Dina go get 2 pounds of ground beef. The way I wash it is a little bit different. People, first of all, don't wash it sometimes, and that's fine. I wash it because I feel like there's grease. Because meat naturally has fats and grease, and so if you wanna avoid that, you just wash it, and you wanna make sure that, you know, it's properly cleaned. I put it in a nice big bowl, and I put cold water, and you just let the water run through. Kinda, you see all the fat coming up. I have washed it, and then I kind of just put it in a very fine strainer. That gets rid of pretty much all of the nasties. I don't like too much water sitting in my keema, so I kind of almost let it sit here like this, like at an angle. Wash your hands, guys.
My mom, whenever she, you know, washes meat, she always cleans her area and like sanitizes it. Obviously, you know, if you're washing your meat, harmful juices are gonna get everywhere, so just make sure that you're also cleaning kind of like your sink and your counters, and of course your hands, most important.
Start with the sauce first, and I use Hunt's, but I've always used this from the very beginning. My mom actually used this growing up. It's the 29 ounce. Because we're making a full tray, I need a lot of sauce.
How much would you say we're using?
I guess 4 times 29, whatever that is. Just like the chutney video, go back and see the video. It shrinks, it reduces, and it won't be as much. It's gonna be nice and thick, and that's the condensed flavor that you want out of your tomato sauce. So we're gonna start cutting the tomatoes because I like a little bit of freshness in my sauce. I can see the difference, I can taste the difference in the tomato sauce.
How many like Roma tomatoes would you say?
Probably 6 Roma tomatoes and one whatever tomato this is, the vine tomato, yeah. So I'm gonna use some fresh garlic in my sauce. The tadka, I begin with the tadka in this sauce, and I like to use fresh garlic. This is the part of the sauce that is kind of different because it's, you know, more desified, if you will. It's got the tadka effect, which means the oil top that you put on top of chutneys. So we've got the garlic chopped finely. We've got the bagar supplies. Now here, I'll explain to you what those are. This is cumin. You use mostly cumin, like 2 tablespoons of cumin, half a teaspoon of fenugreek, and then this here is kalonji, is rye. Mustard seeds. We're gonna use olive oil. I want it to be tasty, and unfortunately taste comes from oil. So you can always throw it out at the end, but you have to have plenty of oil to begin any kind of recipe. This is a good 1.5 cups. I'm just gonna cut the onion until the oil is heating up. Let's get started. So we have the oil heated up. It's gotta be nice and hot because we're gonna put the garlic first. Maybe 10 pieces of garlic. Get that golden brown. I'm gonna put in our little seeds here into this. You see how it's gotten a little bit brown. You don't want the seeds to get too brown, but just enough. Just get the seeds to pop a little bit. Okay, look, it's turning really brown really fast. So I'm gonna put in my pepper. I think we have a lot of sauce, so I'm gonna use maybe a good full spoon of red pepper and almost a teaspoon of turmeric. Fresh tomatoes in. you have to smell this. This smells so good. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna let the tomatoes cook covered and on high heat until I hear it. And when I hear it is when it's starting to cook. I lower it a little bit more. You don't want it to burn cook. You want it to cook just at the right temperature where it's not boiling cooking. You see what I'm talking about when I say boiling cooking? So when it gets to that point, you don't want it to boil cook for too long because it'll just make it dry. And you want those tomatoes to cook. So let's reduce it to medium high to not have it that hot.
Okay, so now we have another little smaller pot going for the ground beef. High heat.
We're gonna use probably 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. While the sauce is cooking, let's go ahead and put our onions, the 1 medium onion. So we've got to caramelize the onions almost to a golden brown, but not brown. You gotta be careful here. It'll like come in your face and pop in your face. So you gotta keep stirring. Don't be afraid of all these sauces, guys. It's going to reduce, I promise you. You just have to be patient because, like I said, sauce takes the longest. That's why we started it first. The onions are getting golden brown to the point that I like. Of course, my favorite spice, cumin. Maybe a spoonful, a teaspoonful. Now that it's popping, let's add our ginger garlic paste that has been watered down because we didn't have enough. We have to put maybe half a teaspoon of turmeric, 3/4 of a teaspoon red pepper because we already have a lot of spice in the other dishes. Now this is gonna become a little more caramelized. You put in your keema, 2-pound keema, mix it up. So this is all mixed up after we just put it in. Now, no need to worry about putting water or anything. We're just gonna kind of let it cook on medium heat, I would say.
How long would you say the sauce needs to kind of like cook and reduce, and like how much should it reduce down so they can know?
I would say half. Reduce it half. It has to be thick. This is not thick at all. It's getting really hot and boiling to the point where it's kind of popping out. But that makes it all messy here, as you can see. So if you'd like, you could kind of cover it partly. Okay, guys, I love jalapeno, as you know. I think it adds a really nice tangy twist. So I don't really like it to be spicy. So I definitely don't want to add spice. I just want to add the flavor.
It's gonna go in the sauce? Or?
Yeah, the sauce is the main tasting factor in the lasagna, so.
So guys, for the keema, we cook it with the lid covered so that everything kind of cooks like through and through. Mainly so that the onions really kind of melt into the keema and become, I guess, caramelized in there. And according to my mother, we cook it for nearly 45 minutes. The ground beef doesn't actually take that long to cook. It's more so the onions melting into the ground beef. She really likes to dry it up so that it's not too much moisture going into the lasagna, if that makes sense.
It's been what, 30 minutes or so, maybe even 35. See how dry it is, and the oil had come on top. Please be careful, I warn you. You must wear a glove because I just kind of burned myself here. You can see. No. If you are to reduce it, you see that? If you are to reduce it to half the size of the sauce, it's going to take a lot of effort and some uncomfortable stirring. Look how thick it's becoming. So
Looks like lava.
okay, this is black olives. I just get the whole pitted black olive. This will go on top of the lasagna and it's gonna look so pretty. You take your big olive and cut it into maybe, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5, you know, as thin as you like it. 2 bunches of cilantro. I'm gonna go into all 3 things. I forgot to tell you, there's 3 main cooking elements in the lasagna that we use, and that is spinach, keema, tomato sauce, and lasagna. The keema is ready. That's how dry you want it. Cilantro, by the way, these two bunches are enough for all 3 elements. Forgot to add garlic powder. You don't need that much. You just put a little bit, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon. Of course, salt. It's to your desire. Let's add the jalapenos. Forget our garlic powder. Let's do about 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Probably 1 tablespoon of salt, because we got a lot of sauce in there. Whole bunch of cilantro. On to part 2 of the 2 other dishes, lasagna. And we're going to do the spinach part in this big dish. So we're gonna take a big old pot because we're making a huge amount of lasagna. 3 boxes of the 1 pound lasagna. Don't put salt yet. I like to put salt once it starts boiling because if you put salt first, the salt,
longer, right?
yeah, the boiling time will be longer. On to the spinach part. I normally use fresh spinach, but we didn't have it at the store. So we're gonna go ahead and use frozen. There's 8 frozen chopped spinach, not whole leaves, but chopped spinach. Just go ahead and put it in your pot. I don't like to add oil at this point.
You're just like thawing it, right?
Yeah, well, I don't want the oil and water to mix because this water and oil will create a problem. It'll pop in your face. Spinach has melted and still you can see the water is there. Still not gonna put any oil. So we're gonna reduce this even further. I'd like to add the spices that I intended to, which is the remainder of the ginger garlic water. And I don't want to put too much spice because the other foods have spices. I'm just gonna put a little turmeric. A 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. I like to put probably 2, because it's a lot of water, 2 tablespoons of salt. 3 1 pound boxes of lasagna. See how dry it's getting now, guys? Okay, so I like to put a little bit of olive oil. I'll put my salt at this point, not too much, guys, because we already have a lot of salt in other things. And then, of course, garlic powder on top. I'll just pour it gently. So I'm gonna run cold water on it because I do want it to stop cooking. Let's get the tray ready. This is the full-size tray. This is a stick of butter. Put our lasagna layer first. Bismillah. I like to just kind of put little dots everywhere. So I'm a vegetarian, as some of you may know through watching the other video. So I don't like to put keema on the entire tray. Then I could put spinach everywhere. By the way, we started the oven before we started this assembly. Started at 400. Guys, it's time for the cheese. The pretty cheese. Whole milk mozzarella, 8 cups, but you know, it's up to you how much you want to use. We love cheese here. On to the olives. Look at all this goodness, y'all. So heavy, it's like, I don't know, 20, 40 pounds. Middle rack. 100 degrees for about 15 minutes and then maybe 5 minutes on broil just to get that cheese crispy and brown. Look at this, it's perfectly ready, but if I had left for like even 1 minute, it would have been burnt. Okay guys, here is my lasagna, fusion, Desi, and American style. Hope you enjoy making it and let me know in our comments section how it was.
Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.